Yeah. If I did it, then I did it right. Yes. Yeah. This ain't happened for me overnight. No. Yeah.
Welcome back. Today is an unboxing, and it's going to be an impressions video, and there's going to be some fun stuff going on. Had to clean the desk first. Working on some projects for F and Chet, but I got to open this box. So I have a magical little tool that I'm going to open my box with, and I'm going to need both hands. So welcome to Explicit FPV. This is your intro. I'm going to get to it, and we'll be right back. Alrighty. So we got the magical sky cam. I've got two hands, so I got a little creative and came up with a cool mount so I could do this. And it works at any height with the desk. And we're going to try it out. This is kind of like the first go at it. So I'm very curious to how this is packed. And compared to the last one that showed up, that was not very good. And there was two of them. Talking about the little BM Hobby over there. This one is in a much better box with a lot more packaging. This is what we got. This is quite new. Has not been around a while. Not a lot of people talking about them. So I wanted to get my hands on it because I'm obsessed with drifting. And with the winter time, that's what I did, is I spent a lot of time indoors modifying, 3D printing, and drifting. But this little guy can drift anywhere compared to the 1/10 scale that are around the room here. But this one is in a lot better shape. I'm not going to do an official unboxing because there's other ones out there and they're probably more exciting than my video. But it came in phenomenal shape, very well packed. Did not get all dinged up like the last one. I had parts falling off of mine. And F and Chet's, this guy here, both of them had to be reworked a little bit to get to where they are now. So I'm not too worried about that. It's packed well inside here, assuming that the box doesn't get crushed. Pretty basic, nothing super exciting, but you know, a nice presentation, I guess. You got your quick start guides, I guess, and QR codes. It's multi-level with other parts. I do like how these are kind of squeezed in there. This is a different remote compared to the other one. It has a channel 3, which I'm assuming is going to be for lights. Hopefully they come out with a light kit for it. I'm going to definitely get it. It does feel good in the hand. It's light, it's small. You don't want a huge remote with a tiny little car. It's kind of funny. But one thing that I've heard, the few people I've watched talk about, is they don't like the wheel. They don't like the hard plastic wheel, and that would be cool if I could modify, maybe print a wheel, assuming that's an actual Allen key, and this comes off, and I could come up with something to put on there with some foam and a nicer wheel. But it fits good in the hand. It's kind of like it is a pistol grip, and feels like it fits my hand really well, which is nice. The carbon accents are really cool against this sort of camo-y urban style. I think there's a rim on there somewhere, so it's probably a picture of something, but it's very, very nice. I like it. And with the carbon accents, I don't know how well it's going to stand. Yeah, I wouldn't. So this one is not one you'd want to stand up without modifying and making a plate for the bottom, but it does just fine there. I did find out in one of the last newer videos that I watched that they come with extra little dog bones, and this is funny because I accidentally dropped the white one on the ground, and I put my foot out to stop it from hitting the floor, not realizing that I kind of broke one of the suspension parts, allowing the dog bone to fall out, which is a tiny little dinky bone looking thing here. And with a miracle of God, I was able to find that in my office. That was kind of stressful. And you can sort of order them or upgraded versions, and I didn't want to wait the 2.5 weeks or spend $20 on something that's that tiny. The fact that they come with a bunch is really cool. One guy's like, well, one was metal, it's got to be better. For the little torque that these things create, I don't think it needs to be metal. I think these little plastic guys will do the job just fine. And it would be more of the weakest link in the chain, so if something were to hang up, it would break this over something else because the other dog bones are made out of metal. So I'd like that. Plus there's extras here, and I'll keep my eye out because maybe they'll come up with a print for them. The rims that they come as secondary are absolutely awesome. I have some other white wheels I'm hoping will be the same width that I could possibly use to go against the white body, and I'm gonna mess with some vinyl and stuff like that. But these are cool, kind of a Corvette looking wheel, better than the stock, even more Corvette looking wheels. The tiny little wrench tool for the wheels, which I love. Some different hubs you can put on, so if you wanted to do more track style stuff versus the drifting. Allen keys and your basic little tiny screwdriver. In the almost 15 years I've been flying and building drones and other electronics, I've had to keep throwing out. I probably have 20 of these floating around, which is crazy. One of the other awesome little things, because I like modifying stuff, and I grew up in the import tuner world, is that it comes with a full body kit. With a wing, a spoiler, a lip wing, all this stuff, and it's all magnetic. So there's no modifying. You can just slide it on, slide it off. When you crash, they kind of pop off, which is really cool. Kind of adds to the realism and fun of it. Already got a muffler, so I don't even have to 3D print a muffler or anything for it. You have this little extra as one of these cool body mounts. That's what I was working on. Over here, as I printed some more, they're a little bit different, and they need to be cleaned up. For that one over there, to adjust everything so it lines up. But it comes with this little body here that if you want to display a separate body just as a desk piece, which is kind of a neat little thing with some extra rims and stuff, you have all that. I don't know if I will, but it's good to have backup little parts like this thing and stuff like that. And then the main course. Out the box, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. I love the body. It's a little bit shorter from what I understand. I think this pulls out. Yep. So it's got the same style that one did have. These were the battery door locks into this. You kind of just pull it apart and then it releases it. The factory bumpers are all magnetic. I love the intercooler look. Assuming I'm even in the camera there. Just adds to the realism of it. I think this is super genius, the way that they did this stuff. And then the back bumper. That's cool, and you can even rock it off like it's a drift missile or something like that. I just dig the look. And these taillights, pretty cool. Sorry, not hitting the camera. First time. Definitely gonna like hit this because I think it look cool, and I'll probably black these out a little bit to give it that smoke look. I guess one of the biggest upgrades to this is the receiver gyro setup. I guess this is supposed to be a lot better, even though they put vinyl sticker over this. It's the same kV, 28,000 kV motor, and I do have an extra one for that if it's the same size. We'll find out, but it would be good to get an extra one of those depending on how much they're used. They do have a lifespan versus brushless, but for how well that guy drifts, I'm impressed. And who knows, down the road, upgrade it and do a brushless setup. The wheels definitely remind me of was it like a C5 Corvette? Was that late 80s, early 90s? They're okay. Don't mind them. They might look better on that one over there. The suspension looks cool. You can see here that the adjustable part of the suspension is all the way in versus this one where it's out a little bit to adjust. But that's everything that's in the box. I did not get the one with the battery. It was faster shipping. I already have 2 batteries, and I was going to do a video on it. I found a battery that works. You just have to cut some of the wire off of it and shrink it down to fit. I may do a video on it again because I kind of just threw it away and not use it. Didn't think anybody would care, but I guess there is enough of a desire with these things that I might as well and show everybody what I did, because it gives you another option, because I don't see the ability to buy just that battery anywhere. So I'm going to go charge up those batteries and get it in there, make sure everything works, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the fun. But first impressions of it is super cool. I love this stuff. Actually, while I'm here, I might as well just break it out, right? You're already up there watching. Even the little wing, it's got like a little wraparound wing up top. I don't know how that's going to attach. That's definitely not glue. That might have to get glued on there, but that's definitely the, am I still in the shot? Yeah, it's somewhere in here. Oh yeah, look at that. See, I'll figure that out in a minute. It's got holes, I wonder if, no? We'll see. Tinted windows, which is cool. So light does transfer through that, which is kind of nice. Alright, so let's check out the fun stuff. So here's your wing. Side skirts. That's freaking wild. Little cool side skirts. And they just click on. You can see the magnets here on the inside, and it looks like the panel unscrews if you needed to remove them. The big kick-ass bumper, and it fits. Flawless. Oh, there's the click. Nice. They move around a little bit, so they will fall off, which I think is funny. But again, that's kind of part of the shtick with it. And this, and it fits right on there. So there's your body kit. The front end kind of reminds me of the Japanese version Integra conversion that a lot of the guys around here were doing back in the day. I like that front end. That's cool. All right, so we got all our parts. Oh, and the wing. That's it. Just sticks on. It wiggles around, but I mean, it's on there. That's cool. So I'll figure this guy out. I think it's just glue. Make sure we're centered. We're centered. There's center. Yeah, this looks like it needs a little drop of glue, and it creates a little roof spoiler, and that's it. So like I said, I'm going to charge up some batteries, and I'll show you some of the fun. At some point, we're going to work on making a track. We're going to get some click together floor and probably put it on this desk, because this desk raises up and down. That way we can take it up off the floor, we can still sit down, and we don't need a huge space for these little guys. A little tiny course. I mean, this desk is almost enough. It just needs a little more width. So we'll be back in a couple minutes. All right. Well, there was a couple short clips, whatever I put in the video. And I gotta say, I'm quite pleased. Right out of the box, not bad at all. Very easy to pick up, a little bit different in the control. It was after like my third stop, check it out, mess with the controller kind of thing, that I realized that the throttle was pretty low, that it didn't give me a lot more top end, so I adjusted that, and that was the only thing I adjusted, which made it much easier to spin on the table. This is not a big table. It is 2.5 feet, maybe, sorry, from end to end, so it's not a lot of room. So I was kind of gentle with it. I came close a couple times. The camera where I had it up there, you didn't get to see this edge, but I ran along this edge and committed to it a couple times. And yeah, it was sketch as shit. But I'm very, very pleased. This thing's going to be a blast. I'm going to work on the track this weekend for this. I reprinted a different mount for this thing to push stuff around. I still got to adjust it just a tiny bit to get full steering angle and not rub the body with it being a little bit lowered, and I think I've accomplished that. But this thing, for me, I highly recommend. Even if you are super advanced and really into the big stuff and not really into these, I would still recommend it, because it gives you something small. Even with a decent sized kitchen table, you could have some fun with some cones or another person. Like I said, we're going to modify this thing so we can put a track on top of it versus something on the floor, and that will work well. Side note, F and Chet's bodies on. That thing's looking good. A little bit of test and tune with that thing maybe this afternoon or evening to get that thing running, but I'm going to work on some kind of case and see what I can come up with to get this thing so I can port it around. And I'm debating if I should put both cars into it and change up the one I have just for that one, but I'm very pleased. On a side note, what I decided to do, because the side skirts are it, I love the idea that they fall off in a crash and it's kind of realistic looking. Sliding the body on and off, because you have to pin it in the nose and you kind of take the sides and peel them apart a little bit, and it slides down onto these little areas here and locks in place. And side note, put a little piece of foam here, it stops the body from sliding around. Learned that from another video. But I don't want them to fall off anymore, so I put a drop of glue in the middle on the ends to lock them in, and I did the same with the wing just in case it happens to get hit at another location or a dog running by, whatever crazy things happen, that it doesn't disappear. That is glued on. The front and rear bumpers will still come off. I left it at that. I'm pretty much going to leave this thing alone. Maybe a sticker or two on there. But yeah, so if you're watching this, I've already made the video. If not, that's because I'm still making it. So on that note, there are my thoughts, my impressions. A very light unboxing. I dig it. I think these little guys are a blast, and gives you a spot to drift everywhere. Thanks for tuning in.